Hey everyone, welcome back to Working Class Music. This is day 2 of our Gear Fest extravaganza. Again, I'm Jason.
I'm Tia.
And this is our friend Wesley with PreSonus. And if you're like me and you like cost-effective speakers, I've been a big fan of the Eris 3.5s and the 4.5s, but PreSonus just came out with a new one. And my wallet is speaking to me. It is saying, you must upgrade. And in our quest to help out everybody, thus our name, Working Class Music, and keep it working class, thought we'd get a little bit of info from Wesley just to tell us about it.
Sure. So we took our best-selling E3.5s and 4.5s, and we made them bigger. We bigified them. So they have a 5-inch, 5.2 5-inch, so a little bit bigger than 5 inches of woofer, and they have a 1-inch silk dome tweeter, so they still have that real sweet high end. It's going to give you great stereo imaging. And then we packed in 100 watts of amplification, so each speaker gets a whopping 50 watts of amplification. So you get the pair for $250, which is very affordable,
yes.
Probably the most affordable 5-inch solution on the market. Yeah. And you still get a headphone amp built into the front, so if you're mixing or playing late in the night, you don't want to disturb your neighbors, you just plug your headphones right into the speaker. It kills the speakers, and then you're listening to your headphones, so that's really handy. It also has a 1/8-inch jack aux input in the front if you don't want to plug in your phone, and of course it's got Bluetooth 5.0 connectivity if you want to connect wirelessly. And then on the back you have TRS connections for audio interface, RCAs if you're coming from like a stereo system or something like that. Then you have a couple of little room tuning things if you just want to dial in the mids and the high frequencies just to make a more pleasant listening experience if you're just listening instead of referencing. So they're great little speakers, actually big speakers because there's littler ones. And it's a nice little bridge between the what we call the media reference line up into our more pro Eris line. So the E5s would be the next step up, and those are bi-amped and 140 watts a piece and give you a few more pro features. But it's kind of like edging you up into the high end.
I guess that kind of somewhat answered what I was going to ask next. So, like, what inspired you guys to create that size, or was it just something that you guys saw was missing and were like, hey, this,
you noticed there was a market for it, like, hey, like, it sounds like you guys really took notes on what people use, what people wanted, and then what people might want. Like, you covered a lot of ground. Like, that was a really great idea. Like, just you going through the specs, I'm like, oh my god, why don't more companies do this?
It was actually user requested, so we get, typically with our speaker range, we kind of build what people ask us to build, and the Eris speakers have been around now for almost 10 years, and people have really responded well to them because they are affordable, but they still sound good. Mm-hmm. In those kind of lower tiered studio monitors, sometimes they're a little hyped, and they're not super flat, and our speakers are not like that. Our speakers are straight studio monitors from the $99 E3.5s all the way up through. We just want to give you a really good listening experience.
Nice.
That's awesome.
I don't have any other questions. Like,
yeah, no, I mean, like, she answered everything.
Yeah. I want one.
Yeah, I would like a pair.
I would like a pair.
You might have a hookup. I'm just,
Thanks again, Wesley. We appreciate it. And this means a lot, and especially to me, because I've been a fan of the Eris, especially like I was saying earlier off camera, the 3.5s that I currently use, and I have the 4.5. So for me, this was something I was eyeing, and to hear that this was user requested means a lot. Like, there's not a lot of companies that listen.
I love that. Like, when companies really pay attention to what, I mean, it makes sense. I'm not trying to make a pun here. Like, it literally, it makes sense to just make what the people want. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Like, that is just, it's straight to the point.
Yeah.
That's the fun thing about PreSonus. I mean, we're all musicians, and it's kind of in our core DNA. So a lot of the products that we think about are solving problems that we have in our own like spaces. Mm-hmm. And then we start talking to other people like, you have that problem too. Why don't we fix that?
Yeah, nice.
Easy as that.
Yeah, easy as that.
We really appreciate you taking the time and sitting with us, chatting. I know it's been really quick, but that's been super informative.
Oh, I really appreciate y'all stopping by.
Yeah, thank you.
Not a problem. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
We got Joe next.
Yeah. So.
Joe's going to talk about StudioOne. Yeah. That will be longer.
Hey guys, how's it going? It's Nelson, the editor and director of Working Class Music here, and I just wanted to drop in real quick to remind you that it's so easy to use our affiliate links, and I wanted to show you how easy that is right now. So basically, all you have to do is go to one of our videos and scroll down to the description after you like the video, of course, and basically click the link for either Seymour Duncan or Sweetwater and go about it how you usually would any purchase on those websites. Basically, going through our links helps the channel out and helps us out because we get a bit of a kickback from that sale, and it costs nothing extra to you. It's just a way to help out the channel and support us if you'd like. So yeah, our affiliate links are super easy to use. So if you see something you like in our videos, please use our affiliate links if you decide to purchase something that you like, because it really helps out the channel. Now, I'll go ahead and get back to this amazing interview, and you'll see me eventually. You'll probably hear me before you see me again. So yeah, bye.
And we're back with our friend Joe. Emily from Get Offset has such wonderful things to say about you. So we had to talk to you. So
she's a sweetheart.
She is. She is the best. Now, I wanted to talk to you about Studio One because I was a little bit of a fan of that, and
a little bit,
yeah. I've cut a song or two in Studio One, nothing major, but yeah, if you can, just give us the history of it first.
So Studio One is pretty young when it comes to DAWs. We've been out about 10 or 11 years now, which is, I guess, a while now. But originally, so PreSonus as a company sold audio interfaces for forever, and we would ship them out, and it would ship with some kind of cheap software that would kind of work but wasn't that great of an experience. We could only give them part of the experience. So we decided, well, let's make our own recording software so we can ship our interfaces with something that we know how it works, it'll integrate really well, and we can have control over it. And that was Studio One. And we never meant for it to be, we never expected like you to come in and want to talk, you know what I mean? We thought it would be this cool tool people would use, and it'd be a little side gig that we'd have, but it has turned into this thing where lots and lots of people use it now. I was a Pro Tools guy for a long time. I started using Studio One just kind of on a whim, and next thing I knew, it'd been a few years and I hadn't opened Pro Tools. I got a new computer I didn't even install. I couldn't even find the installer because I hadn't used it in that long. So it was kind of starting from scratch. We wanted to make something we thought would be cool, would work well, and it just solved a lot of little problems for me. Stuff that I couldn't do in other software I could do in Studio One, and it just made my life, it made music a lot more fun.
And that's what matters.
And intuitive. Like there'd be these little features, and I would say, I don't know who made this, but this guy gets me, you know? So it's that kind of weird, almost like, the way like an Amazon has good customer service, even though you may never talk to someone, but the way they build the system treats you well. Does that make sense? Yeah. Anyway.
One thing I wanted to point out, especially since we're kind of geared towards helping musicians get the most affordable gear possible, and you can't get more affordable than Studio One Prime, which is free. But I want to go over the differences and why someone may want to upgrade.
Great question. One of the things I've loved about Studio One from the beginning is we have an artist version, which is pretty fully functional version. It's missing a few features from the Pro version, but if you buy a PreSonus interface, these interfaces that you see around here, they come with Studio One Artist. So Studio One Artist sells for $99, but you get it free if you buy an interface. So if you're in the market for an interface, then the software is going to come with it. Great solution. If you already have your interface and you want to check out Studio One, we have the Prime version, like you mentioned. We also offer a 30-day trial of the Pro version that you can get, and if you say that's not for me, you can go back to the Prime version and use that. But it's just a simpler version, fully functional. Our big thing is drag and drop, which I want this to go here, I want this here, I want to hear this there, and it just kind of all works kind of the way you think it should.
Nice.
But it's a great way, easy way to get into it, see if it's for you, and then you can go from there.
Oh, nice. Well, what was some of the differences going from Studio One 4 to 5?
Good question. The biggest, probably one of the biggest ones is we rolled out a whole new section of the software called the show page. Up until that point, we had a song page for recording and mixing. We had a project page, which is for mastering. But we had a lot of people saying, we love your software. We're also playing shows on the road. Can you make a version where we can use, like playing our virtual instruments and running our mics through plugins in a live environment? So we rolled out the show page for that. You take our mixer, strip it down to just the stuff you'd need in a live environment, and you've got that there. So you can do backing tracks, you can play virtual instruments, and you can run your mic through your favorite plugin all in a live environment, which is really fun.
Wow.
And use it for live streams as well, for folks who want to perform that way.
Yeah.
So that was probably one of the bigger ones. I mean, since 5 came out, which has been a minute, we've added a bunch of new features to the mastering suite, so mastering engineers are a lot happier now too. But the show page was a big one.
Oh, nice. If you're like me and you use a lot of tracks, I know that some DAWs, especially like the ones that come with interfaces, they usually top out at like 16. I know that's not the case with Studio One.
You can do as many as your computer will let you. So your computer will quit before we do.
And this is why you should buy or get Studio One.
Yeah, I cut my teeth in the Pro Tools world, and it was very much like you have this many, and if you need more, best of luck to you. But as long as your computer can handle it, I regularly do songs with 60, 70 tracks, and you get the occasional that crosses the 100 mark, and you question your life choices, but sometimes you just got to do it.
Yeah. Oh, actually, the Sphere.
Yes. Let's talk about Sphere. So with version 5, in addition to the show page I talked about, that was the bigger thing. We rolled out a subscription version of Studio One, so you can get into Studio One for just a monthly price instead of paying the full thing outright. But also, over the years, we've collected a bunch of different software packs for sounds and instruments and things, in addition to some great kind of extra plugins, a lot of stuff that's modeled after really cool analog hardware that we've sold in our shop, but now as Sphere members get access to all of that. So whenever I show people on the computer, there's a little tab you go to that says, what stuff do I own? If you're a Sphere member, that list gets real long, and you can install things like some really cool console emulations to make your whole mix sound like it's running through an old school tube console, or all kinds of, we're releasing new virtual instruments every month that you just get added, so new sample packs, new drum things, all that kind of stuff, in addition to some very cool compressors and EQs and things like that. So for me, I never liked buying plugins, because if I changed to computers, it was like, let's spend a month installing everything and getting the new licenses and figuring out how to get it's just, I've liked Studio One because the plugins were cool, but now there's even a whole mess of new stuff that's just baked in. Here's the cool part. So I was coming here for this, and I had to leave my laptop at home for something else. And so I borrowed a laptop from PreSonus, but it wasn't set up with any of my stuff, right? With my Sphere membership, I did a backup in my home studio in the big iMac at the studio. And then I logged into my Sphere account here and said, hey, sync up with the mothership. And in a matter of seconds, my screen had all my recent files there, had my profile picture, it had everything, all my plugin settings, all my keyboard shortcuts, all that stuff was on this computer that I'd never seen before. And it happened just like, honestly, I was like, it'd be cool if this works, but it's probably going to mess up somewhere. And it was just smooth.
Okay. Well, I guess it's official. Working Class Music is switching to Studio One. So,
That's it.
Yeah, Joe, thank you. Thank you.
My pleasure.
I don't have any other questions that I can think of.
It's pretty short, sweet, informative. I'm sold.
Yeah, Tia sold. I'm sold. You know, as a person who uses this stuff and recommends this stuff, this is something at GearFest that I wanted to talk about, because every time, because I work for a big box retailer who won't be mentioned, and every time we talk about recording stuff, Studio One was always my go-to. So thank you for making me feel validated in my recommendation, and thank you and Wesley for explaining these things.
Yeah.
And now I'm just like, I guess you want to close out, or? Yeah, well,
All you.
All me. I'm still fanboying over here.
Just close out with a smile, man. Just
Thanks to Sweetwater. Thanks to PreSonus. Thanks to Wesley and Joe. Thanks to everybody so far. Like, GearFest has been awesome, and I've been saying this in every video. I don't want to leave. I'm cutting out my space in a Sweetwater warehouse, and that's going to be my little loft.
It's so big they might not find you.
Yeah, I don't think they'll find
Honestly.
me. It'll be years. So, all right, everyone. Later.
adios.
Everybody